Hello to my Libras. This is Queen Amun Ra coming to you with your general reading. Libra, somebody told me that your readings didn't go up on the 4th, like everybody else's readings went up on the 4th. So anyway, we got some good news for everyone. Okay, so first and foremost, at the time of filming, Pluto was the only planet that was retrograde. So it was retrograde, and it is still retrograde in Aquarius at the time of filming. But on the 4th of July, Neptune went retrograde in Aries, right? So Pluto is retrograde in Aquarius, and so now Neptune is retrograde in Aries, right? So information about planets that are currently retrograde or going retrograde in July is up on my TikTok page, but it's also up on YouTube Shorts. It's more in-depth information is in-depth on TikTok. So I'm on TikTok at Queen Amun Ra on TikTok, and also Queen Amun Ra Tarot on TikTok. And then, of course, if you're on YouTube, you know, YouTube Shorts, right? So it's just a snapshot on YouTube Shorts. So go check it out. Go check it out. Go check it out. So this is a real turning point for everybody, right? So we're going to have 3 planets that's going retrograde in Aries. Aries is ruled by the Tower card. So in lay terms, everybody's prayer life is going to increase in July, starting in July. It's a real turning point because people are purging. We are in the year 9. 9 is calling for a higher level of spiritual education. 8 breaks generational cycles, chains, and curses. 8 is Scorpio rules 8th house. 8th house is 8th house is all about intimacy and shared possessions. It's deep, dark, mysterious. 8th house is where we encounter many of the darker aspects of life. Is where we can experience loss and emotional crisis, but also deep transformation. The 8th house covers the intimacies of relationships and the complexity of shared finances. And so you all rule 7th house, right? The 7th house traditionally denotes marriage and partnerships, but also the idea of open enemies, quarrels, and disputes. It's the house of contractual partnerships, but also litigation. So a deeper look reveals the interesting links between these things, right? So the good news is Venus rules Libra, but it also rules Taurus, right? And so, but it rules it differently. So when the enemy in the spiritual realm, because your energy is directed outward as a divine masculine zodiac sign, it doesn't matter what your physical body is. But the good thing is that when you learn that your sign, the element of air, your rule, your element is air, right? But air is the gateway between the spiritual realm and the physical realm, heart chakra, right? When you can make that connection of how the enemy will try to use your knowledge or lack thereof of your house against you, if you can get in front of that, then you'll be ahead of it. You'll be ahead of it. You'll feel quite fortunate to know. So for instance, for example, let's say, because the enemy has already studied you. He's already studied you before you studied you, right? So you need to know the light and dark side of yourself. So I'm going to help somebody. I'm going to help you all with this, right? Because this is the good news. You want to study yourself, right? You want to study your houses. So let's say, for instance, before we get into this, your even though Libra rules, let's say, for instance, Libra rules 7th house, right? So study a birth chart, but let's say your sign is Aries, which is your polarity sign. But let's say your sign is Aries in your 7th house, right? That would mean that with Libra rising, you aim for fairness and impartiality, yet in the relating processes, you develop a more warrior-like side that complements and balances this, right? So that's who the enemy will use to come up against you. That's exactly who the enemy will use to try to come up against you, right? Because the enemy will see that as your other half. The enemy will see that as somebody that you need as your other half. Well, you're not a half of a person, right? So the enemy will use that against you to start to openly show that as your enemy. Okay, so that's your whole reading right there for real. And remember that the devil is crafty, so it's not going to come to you as like, until it's exposed, right? So it's not going to initially come to you arguing and screaming and fussing and fighting. First, it's going to come to you as a beam of light. So I am surrounded by people who encourage me. So put it out there in the universe. The I am aspect is God. That's God. Right? So that's who's fighting your battles. You're going to have to speak it in the spiritual realm first. I just gave you the answer to something. Let's get into it. Right? So that's who you're going to have to break ties with, because that is who energies are going to try to hold on to, whoever's in your seventh house, to try to throw you off balance. Remember, you're trying to protect yourself, right? So what hidden truth or emotional depth must you confront now to align fully with your intentions? And so waxing gibbous moon in Scorpio is a time of refinement, clarity, and building momentum before the full moon, right? And so Scorpio is a sign of emotional intensity, shadow work, transformation, and uncovering what's beneath the surface. And so this something could be blocking or empowering your manifestation, especially on a deep psychological or spiritual level. So anybody who sees you any way that they can use anything to leverage or use against you or hold against you to stop or block anything, your love life, your money, because that's what Scorpio, we're not talking about a person, just so we're crystal clear, to throw you off balance. That's exactly who they will use. Exactly who they will use. So you are surrounded by people who encourage you. We're coming up on the full moon. So there's the answer. There's the answer. So find out what your sign is in your seventh house. That's who the energies will use. So you need to do your shadow work. So those are three parts to this. Your shadow work, which is what emotional truth, fear, or pattern is hiding beneath the surface that you need to confront. Do your mirror work. This is how is this hidden truth currently reflecting in your actions, reflections, or mindset. And then the alchemy, which is how can you transform or integrate this truth to stay aligned with your path and your purpose, right? All right. All right. Here we go. Let's go. All right. So it's either a parent, a child, a sibling for you. That's a hidden something. It's all connected. It's all connected, right? So here's the Empress right here. Empress. So something is being planned during the full moon. You need to get in front of something. So a conversation needs to be had, right? First and foremost with source, because the sun exposes the moon. So you need to get out in the sunlight, remove any stale energy off of your spirit. Get out in the sunlight, take a drive, a walk, something. Get out in the sunlight and talk to source, the creator, the great I am, because you are surrounded by people who encourage you, right? Meaning that people have been praying for you, right? Because somebody has been preying on your kindness, seeing it as a weakness, weighing you down both in your personal and your professional life. And so people know there's some energies who have been taking stone cold advantage of you, right? It was a death card, right? And it needs to end, needs to end. It's almost like people are like, I can see it in the spirit realm where people will be like, finally clapping and cheering, like, oh my God, when was Libra going to see this? Like, when was Libra going to finally take out the sword and just cut them off? Right? So Source has your back. Source has your back. Because this energy, these two energies have just been both riding you both in your personal and your professional life. And these energies feel like, remember, you all are the scales of justice. They will disrupt your peace if they can't just ride your coattails and just add as many people on, like, hey, let's just go for a ride. Let's just take advantage. Like, you're supposed to carry them on your back and your front, right? And while they just sit back in the sun and just pounce while you just work. Like, you just pray for everybody while they pray on you. That's not how this is going to go anymore. No, You worked really, really hard to get to your throne, right? Those energies absolutely will continue to prey on you, right? So here we have the Five of Pentacles here, right? So this is the key. Somebody has a Taurus moon, and they have a whole organization behind them that they are using this energy, who already feels bad, who feels sick to their stomach. But they feel like this energy has the key to unlocking your vault. That needs to stay outside of your vault door. Needs to stay outside of your vault door. It's very unhealthy. It's very wounding, because this energy has a pick me spirit. And here's the thing. And this is the moon in Scorpio here, right? Here's the thing. Person doesn't have a moon in Scorpio. They have a moon in Taurus, by the way, right? And there's a Leo that's backing this, right? Because somebody's trying to force you into a rebirth. This is bullying at its best. I mean, just to help somebody understand this. This is really bullying at its best. There's a Scorpio mother involved in here. There's a Pisces mother involved in this. There is a Leo man that's backing you. This person is wearing the skin of an Aries, though. They're wearing the skin of an Aries and an Aquarius, but they're more so the skin of an Aries, though, of an Aries man and an Aquarius man. So they're not themselves, because inside they feel horrible. They feel sick to their stomach for what they're doing, but they're going to have to learn how to stand up for themselves, whoever this energy is. They feel horrible for what they're doing, but it's not even really about their feelings, because the people that are doing it to them are very cold-hearted. They're basically like, no matter how sick you feel, even if you have to vomit it out, if you have to release it, we will pour our spirit back into you, no matter how you feel. So there's a total disregard for these people, for this person's feelings. Doesn't really matter. If you want to be a part of this organization or a part of us, you know. So this is a secret society. The moon reveals secrets. This is a secret society. If you want to be a part of this, then this is what you need to do. We need the key. We need the key as to what's their secret. What is your secret? What is your secret? We feel like you have the key. You are the key, but they are not, right? So you need to close it out. This is your awakening. This is your tower. 7 is your tower. 7 is your tower, right? Through prayer and meditation. Through prayer and meditation. So some of you all may have already gone through prayer and meditation, right? Looks like you're a prayer warrior, but through meditation. Through prayer, meditation. So you're going to go through some kind of a cleansing by fire. Looking at your cards here, I've already given you the answer. 7th house, like I said before, denotes marriage, partnership, also the idea of open enemies, quarrels, and disputes. There's no argument there. There's no argument. There's no argument. Somebody is basically saying, if you have a child with them, you're either bound to them, you're either bound by them, bound to them. It's either, basically they're saying, if you have a child with them, It's they are the whole package, basically. They are the whole package. So this was by somebody is dealing with an energy who has a God complex, in other words, right? So, and they're being very shady about how they're doing it. And they're trying to send you a message that they are God. They are your God. They are the one that's in control, right? And that's the energy that they're giving off by being very shady. Like it's a competition between them and God, right? It's a page of King of Pentacles, but they are, and you have enough information. You have enough information. That's why it's making somebody so sick, because whoever, whether it's a sibling, if you don't have kids, it could be a sibling, or it could be a parent, or it could be a child, whoever this energy is, they're really, really sick because they share, like I said before, they have source inside of them as well. But it's making somebody really, really sick to even do this to you because they know you. They know you. So here the Ace of Cups here. So you have love coming across your path. You have love coming across your path. This is the Ace of Cups here. So something new is being created. Yes, something new is being created here. Ace of Cups is all about representing a new beginning and emotional and spiritual experiences, often linked to love, joy, and inner peace. Yeah, inner peace. You're in your rebirth side already. It can signify a start of new relationship, the awakening of new feelings, or a deep connection with others. It also suggests a period of emotional clarity, healing, and spiritual growth, right? Yeah, it's not a competition. It's either this, right? It's either this is the Lion of Judah, which is God, right? Or these energies, human, like I said, who are always lurking and ready to pounce on anything, right? Like I said, this animal instinct, right? Hovering. Either you go back to that, where you're always in survival mode, always arguing, fighting in survival mode in a marriage, or with kids, or in survival mode in a marriage, or in survival mode, you know feeling like you like I said, in survival mode, always in survival mode. Yeah, that's not love. That is not love. So you choose. Here's the Justice card. You choose. You're already balanced out. And again, like I said before, some people like that some people like all of that. And that's a choice. That is a choice. And there's no judgment in that. There's no judgment whatsoever. You're not judging them, but you're not under their judgment either. You're not judging them, but you're not under their judgment either. Everybody has a choice. It's free will. And that's what I'm seeing here in your cards. That's what I'm seeing here in your cards. It's a choice. So you're not forcing your will on anybody, and they can't force yours. So you are surrounded by people who encourage you. Yep. It is. Two of Wands here. It's two Aries. That's you know, there is an Aries. So this looking at okay, so Two of Wands is Aries, right? So there's a light Aries and there's a dark Aries behind this, right? The dark Aries that's behind this, excuse me, is someone who is aggressive, someone who's impulsive, someone who is argumentative. But there's an other Aries who is a high vibrational Aries, someone who inspires you to dream big, to go after your dreams, to travel, to, someone who is a very powerful energy in your life, right? And so Source is saying, that inspired you to go from local to international. So we're talking about a duality in Aries here. One of those Aries inspired you to dream big, to go after this is fire. This is the light and dark side of fire, right? So it just happens that you are around energies who are misusing their fire, like basically the abuse of fire, right? That's it. But all it took was one energy one fire energy, that's all it takes is one, who surrendered to source to dream bigger. That's all it takes is one. That's all it takes is one. So you're free. This is free will, free will. You're surrounded by people who encourage you. And this is why somebody is a loner. Why somebody's a loner. Those energies have done enough. These energies have not only caused you a significant loss of money, but they've also caused you and someone else a significant loss in your self-esteem, right? Yeah, trying to prove a point. These are two earth signs. But yeah, these are two karmics. They felt like they wanted to teach you some kind of a lesson. These two energies decide they want to teach you some kind of a lesson. They've cost you so much money, it's not even funny. Here we have money and self-esteem, trying to teach you a lesson. So here we have Queen of Cups. They wanted to be a part of something. You didn't ask to be a part of something. Here we have the Queen of Cups. So you're pouring into yourself. Yep, you've already made your decision. Here we have the Lover's card. You've already made a decision. Some kind of a partnership in business and or in love is coming across your path. You've already made your decision. So you're leaving them outside of your life. Wherever these two energies are, but some of you all, you made them, and you've chosen you've chosen God, higher power, source, self. That is the good news. And you're putting a manhole cover over the past. Here's the Five of Cups here. You've chosen source. You're a very strong person. Yeah. These energies have put you in survival mode long enough. And that's that. And someone has your back. 100%. It's going to help you create multiple streams of income. These energies have done. This is part of their legacy. They have, that's the final straw that broke the camel's back. You see how this rounding out of these multiple streams of income, for you, this is the final straw. And what they did. They did something to create multiple streams of income for them. And it caused this energy right here, whoever has a Taurus moon, to throw up, literally to vomit. And somebody's basically, you'll get over it. They were just cold-hearted to them. You'll get over it. You'll deal with it. You know, just go in there and do what you need to do. Do what we told you to do. We'll watch out. Either you were on some kind of travel or something you did. You were gone somewhere. You'll get over it. So since they made a choice, you're making yours. Here's the Wheel of Fortune, and you're on top of it. So that's outside of your vault door. And a light for you came on in hermit mode. And that's the good. You don't want somebody who succumb to their demons. Here we have the Devil card. Yep. You don't want that spirit in your house. You don't want that spirit anywhere near you. Yep. So they didn't get away with anything. Source sword. So here we have the Seven of Cups. The devil is in the details. They can say the devil made me do it. They was drinking under the influence. It doesn't matter. It's a spirit. A spirit, particular spirit took over, right? Right? So you're telling them that God made you do it. You surrender to source. That's how you can keep your vibrations high. That's why you're in good spirits. You're putting a manhole cover over the past and moving on, right? You inspire and motivate a lot of people. They made a deal with the devil, and your covenant is with source. You're not judging anybody. Like I said before, at any point in time, no matter how many people judge you, because we're all in human form, that's what Pluto, the moon and Pluto, I mean, not the moon and Pluto, but Pluto is about, right? You're trying to break generational cycles, chains, and curses, right? So people in glass houses, that's everybody, shouldn't throw stones, right? Because that can come back on you. But source is saying, at any point, looks like in your cards here, we're gonna see if there's anything else we got going on in your cards here. This person has been in survival mode. So somebody forced somebody to do this for money because they thought that you had all of this gold maybe hidden in walls, like you had a big vault filled with, like you literally had a vault with stacks of money or something behind closed doors, when you didn't. You really, really didn't. You had a lot of inspiration, you know, so they took some kind of inspired act. They figured somebody had a key to do this and realized you didn't have what they thought you had behind closed doors. All they did was gotten themselves in legal trouble. That's all they did, was gotten themselves in spiritual legal trouble. And this energy who was sick to their stomach didn't listen to their physical body telling them, oh my God, they got as sick as a person who was pregnant. You know, like a pregnant person will get sick and have like morning sickness and throw up in their stomach. That was a message. That was a message, right? So the three of the third house speaks to communication, right? So third house is communication and language, right? So it also speaks to sibling relationships. It speaks to short journeys in local environments. So they took a short trip and somebody was getting sick to their stomach, even taking a short drive, right? With even people's siblings. And so somebody realized as they were taking a short drive and rehearsing some kind of a script. Okay, we're going to do this. We're going to do that. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. We're going to do this. They was getting sick to their stomach. And some people haven't learned, you know, your body is very telling. The spirit is taking over. Here, drink this, drink that. That, okay, your body rejects things for a reason. Your body rejects things for a reason. Something did not feel right. So those energies didn't get away with anything. You know why? Because people had cameras and they saw them. Wherever you live, there's cameras from the time you step on the property to the time wherever you live. If it's in a cul-de-sac, your neighbors got cameras, hidden cameras. From the time, if you live in a building, that location, whoever the owner of the building are, they got cameras everywhere. The street lights, cameras, 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 cameras. The building you live in, neighbors, cameras, floors, cameras, elevator, cameras, those mirrors, cameras, everywhere, everywhere, cameras. And trust and believe they work. Do you think the owners of that property is going to risk their legacy, because this is legacy, of getting sued and their kids being able to go to college and their legacy, their family legacy, for somebody who feel like, okay, they're going to use one person? No, they're not going to risk that. They throw every single person, the other one of these energies, somebody who, these two people right here, this karmic couple, they'll throw them right up under a bus and leave the tire tracks on their back. So that's why you have no problem breaking the chain. None. Yeah, Ace of Wands. Somebody gonna think that you turn your back on them? No. They should have been inspired to number 3, open their mouth, talk to you, communicate to you. That's the number 3, third house. They have taken enough short trips, ridden in the car with you, talked to other people. You've asked questions. Have you talked to their siblings? They said no, right? Have you been around their siblings? They said no. Have you talked to any of the people that considered as their enemies? They said no. Every single time you asked them a question, they lied. They had every opportunity to tell you the truth. They lied every single time. There's the 8 of Cups. So you don't need to walk away in disillusionment. You got eyes in the back of your head. You're breaking the chain. 9 of Pentacles. There you go. That's the good news for you today. That's how your secret enemies are exposed, Libras. That's how your secret enemies are exposed. So thank you for joining me. Hopefully this has been helpful for you all. We have any final messages, Source? Any final messages? You are surrounded by people who encourage you. It's not by coincidence that your video did not go up, because I film everybody's videos, but it's not by coincidence. Your sign is a sign that sits in the middle of the zodiac sign. So I'm talking to you wherever 7th house, any of my 7th houses, even my cross watcher. So if you happen to come in, so work through your fears, a moon in Scorpio. Yeah, Moon in Scorpio, whatever your moon in Scorpio is. Yeah. So you may be fearful of whatever your sign is in your seventh house, right? But somebody I feel like may have been caught in a sting. This is a scorpion sting, and you may be afraid for their life. You may be afraid for their life. And this is where prayer warrior comes in. This is where you start praying for people, because they have some family and friends around them who end up stabbing them in the back. They're not around people who can trust them at all. They're not around people who can trust them at all, because people were depending on these energies to gain access to you in some way, shape, form, or fashion. But guess what? Their arms are still too short to box with God. Some energies were depending on you, so they want you to surrender something. Sometimes learning to surrender can feel as if you're dying. The ego learns what's hardest to stop trying to control the whole universe, right? Yeah. So yeah, you're surrounded by people who actually encourage you. Somebody must have thought you had this big vault filled with just all kinds of, everything in your house. So nothing is yet set in stone. So you're learning to adapt. You're learning how to adapt. Learning how to adapt. But you definitely had somebody from your past who is, this is the Lover's card here, either a partnership in business and or in love. But it looks like there's a lot of lies that were told about you by an Aries and a Leo here in your cards. And there's a Leo that's backing an Aries up in some kind of a lie about something as far as you're concerned. And they're using a Taurus moon. And there's an organization that's backing it up. So it looks like people are not trying to support you in any way, shape, or fashion. You have family and friends who's not trying to support you at all. And they're backed by a secret society who really just wants to end you in court. But again, you are surrounded by people who encourage you. Okay? Just so you know, you are surrounded by people who encourage you. The main thing is what you have here are you have a lot of energies who've done a lot of things. They've invested a lot of money in significantly lowering your money and lowering your self-worth. In other words, you've been set up. Okay, I can't say this no clearer than this. I can't. This right here. This is a setup. That's why you see so much water in your cars. It's reflective. But it's also reflective of the energies, because water is shaped and guided by the earth that holds and surrounds us. So it's the type of energies and the stuff that they do by saying, oh, alcohol made me do it, which is alcohol is a demon, right? If not used responsibly. Let me just say that, because some people are very responsible. So this is not demonizing that, right? Some people are very responsible. But every time, let me just say this, every time you may have been responsible with a drink, these energies have taken a picture. This was a setup. These are family members like, oh yeah, we got pictures of them drinking. So, oh yeah, this person is an alcoholic, right? Even if you're not, right? Or anytime you've had to, you've gone to a doctor, or the doctor prescribed any kind of medication or whatever with you, they've taken this. But you have in all of this, these energies have spent a lot of money, time and money to do this. To be able to say, so you see this pregnant energy to plant a seed. So this has been this secret has been growing for a long, long, long time. Just so you know, it's like you plant a seed in fertile soil prior to something giving birth to something. This seed has been planted for a long time before. Like, it's like literally like somebody decided, okay, we're going to use that one right there because that one is fertile. That one is fertile. So somebody saw you before, like before you, we We knew that one right there. That one is going to be fertile. That's the one we're going to use. That's the one that's fertile. Like you were an experiment. That one is fertile. So here we have the Five of Cups. Yeah. So if you really sit down and think about it, something could make you cry. It could just make you grieve, almost like you were just like selected to just breathe. That was it. That was just it. So here we have the Knight of Swords here. So stay focused. Stay laser focused. You're a fast thinking person. Here we have the Five of Wands here. Like it was just a competition. Like something was literally a competition. And a lot of people are talking about it, but you are surrounded by people who encourage you. That's the main thing. You're surrounded by people who encourage you. And the same thing with this energy here, who felt sick to their stomach, because just finding out all the stuff that was done to you, this is what's really making somebody sick to their stomach, because they're seeing all the stuff now. They saw this stuff. They saw it either on video or recording or stuff. It's like they're just sitting outside, sitting on the outside, like they cannot believe these people did all of this stuff, like with the money that they had. Like, are y'all serious? Y'all really did this? Y'all really did this. Y'all use your resources to do this. What in the world? You really use your resources to do this. So as far as you're concerned, looking at your cards here, you are down to earth. You're relatable. I feel like if you know the story of Alice in Wonderland, something has just been a complete nightmare for you. A complete nightmare for you. Here's the Three of Cups here. And you're back on your throne. Yeah, you're back on your throne. But a lot of people can relate to this, believe it or not. A lot of people can relate to this. And here we have friendship, celebration, a cycle of support, a circle of support, community, and happiness, right? So this is where somebody says you got, you know, me, myself, and I. You don't care who's talking about you behind your back. You don't care what people are saying about you behind your back. Yeah, you're walking away from something. You're tossing something into a burning bowl and you're walking away. Yeah. Like I said, you and somebody are walking away in total disillusionment. Just walking away. Just like these people, they spent their money on this. Like I said, like a science experiment. Here's the Three of Wands here. Yep. So yeah, you and somebody are moving on and never going back. Never going back to be around these energies at all. So yeah, here's the Ace of Swords. And you're cutting these energies off for good. Again, you're not judging them. It's not for you. Yep, King of Wands here. And somebody has your back. Yep. It's your ancestors have your back. It's basically like people are like, you know, making an offer, like, you know, come join us. You can be a part of this. You can be a part of that. But again, like I said before, it's something that you've been getting a glimpse of being a part of something practically your whole life. You may not have known what you were being a part of or what was being presented to you in your journey, on your journey. But anything where people have to set a trap for you to be a part of something. Anything where people have to set you up in order for you to be a part of something. There should be a blaring, especially at a certain age, a certain stage, a certain age in your life. If it's different when you're, you know, you're a college kid and you bopping around on campus and you just, you know, okay, I just want to be a part of something. Okay, I don't know what I'm getting into. But at a certain age, courage. Let me be open to courageously take the steps that are shown. These energies have done everything to block every avenue of resources for you. Every avenue of resources for you. They're not thinking in terms of collaboration at all. None. This is just straight up competition. It is not competing against you. They're competing against the God in you. That's what this is. So somebody really misses you. They feel that stealing your identity. They are a changeling. This is a child of fairies or demons who have been substituted for a human baby. Yeah, because they've already taken over somebody's identity. So create the change that you want. Like I said, they're wearing the skin of something else. So they've already been sacrificed. It's time to expand your brand. Your ancestors have a message. You have the gift of clairaudience. This is clear hearing. You could hear it in someone's voice. You can already hear it in someone's voice. Your laughter is medicine. She apologizes for betraying you. Speak it into existence. Your next love interest will make you happier. It's all becoming clearer to you now. You have the gift of telepathy. This is a transference of thoughts, feelings, and ideas, whether they're intuitively, emotively, or superconsciously. Your enemy's plan backfired. You have the gift of clairsentience. You pick up on others' vibrations, emotions, moods, and feelings. They want to call you, but they haven't changed. Yeah. So relax. Yeah. So you'll start to notice that they won't call you first, but if you call them, you're the one that's basically slammed, because again, they have a God complex. They have if they want to reach out, they can say, oh, they didn't call you, you called them, you reached out to them. So you want to stop reaching out. You're going to stop reaching out. You need to make a firm decision. You're going to make a firm decision to just cut ties altogether. Yep. Reconnecting with fire. And that's the fire shut up in your bones of God, the creator. So this is light work here in terms of enlightening you. Any other final messages, sources? You're continuing to purge. Purging process is not easy because you're going to the depths of places that you are cleansing, returning back to the salt of the earth. Again, anytime, this is where you don't judge people. I'm trying to tell people, the moment you get to a point of judging people, there's always somebody who can dig up dirt on you. That's why I always tell people, like, you can start judging people if you want to. Go ahead and try it. Judge somebody if you want to, okay? You could try that if you want. The source will expose you, and you be looking like boo-boo the fool, right? For real, the fool. So things are coming up roses for you. Things are coming up roses for you. Yeah. That's why I don't talk about humility on my channel. I don't need to talk about humility on my channel, because everybody has been humbled coming out of the womb just by your whole family. No matter who you came from, that your whole family. That's we're all connected. Everybody knows somebody who knows something about it, whatever it is. So source is saying to you, don't be a fool. Don't be a fool. Move on. Move on from something. Don't be a fool. By staying connected to something where source has chosen you to break it, has chosen you to break a generational cycle, chain, and curse. Right? So I do see somebody getting a dog, and your dog actually may be black and white to show the duality of life in general. Looking at your life. Matter of fact, you have familiar spirits all around you that are inspired. They are inspired because you're not operating in fear. Half of those energies will go run back, and they will go report back, because that is what they do. They go run back. They position themselves around you. They become familiar with what you're talking about, what you're doing. They on the horn right now calling. Guess what? They said, I heard this and that. They get half of a story. They go race back in fear. And some of them are actually listening. Some of them will go and say, well, you know what? Let me pray about this, because I'm tired. It's exhausting. I don't like being confused. I know I have something to do. I know I have a generational cycle, chain, and curse I need to break too. So trust and believe. You're inspiring people who don't like you. They don't like what they're doing. So here we have the Hierophant card. So you are the Hierophant. And people are talking. Trust and believe they talking. You built for this. Whatever it is, whatever generational cycle, chain, and curse you're supposed to break, you built for it. So yeah, here we have let me see what this alchemist. This is the alchemist deck here. Yeah, these energies, they will gather together and they will have warm conversations about how to burn up everything that you've trying to build up. Everything, literally everything that you're trying to build up. But when it came to helping you to build something up, nah, nobody don't know anything. But you've dealt with that. I'm telling y'all, some of y'all have dealt with this in the workplace. I'm telling y'all, literally. You ask somebody for some help in your workplace, nobody knows anything until you go file a complaint. Then all of a sudden, everybody bringing out all kinds of manuals and dusting off books. They don't know what. I'm not trying to be funny, but that's what a lot of people go through. People dusting off books. Everybody got answers. Oh, people having meetings about other kind of meetings. Oh, well, they didn't come to me and ask me. Oh, now all of a sudden you heard somebody bringing word back to you now that some people in trouble. Okay, how come you didn't hear when somebody needed some questions answered? So yeah, here we have this card right here in terms of alchemy is fickle, right? Yeah, so this means take action, get physical, outside, hiking, camping, gardening, daydreaming, swimming. So do any physical activity that calls you that calls you to you while being disconnected from any tech, right? And so what haven't you admitted out loud? Are you focusing on the past, present, or future? What is your hope rooted in? And so this is this card right here. This is this alchemist deck right here. So bring some earth energy into your life when you are unsure about what is next, struggle to make some decisions, and have the feeling of operating aimlessly. It is time to ground, right? Grounding or earthing is a physical reconnecting. It is you allowing your energy to fuse with the healing energy of nature. As woo woo, right? As it may sound, grounding is scientific. So choosing to actively make contact with soil allows us to discharge energy and recharge. It's like you reconnecting with the sun. That's what all this fire is. You're reconnecting with the sun. You're getting out of um, this dark energy, like this dark space that somebody is in. That these energies who have tried to play God in your life, people who have tried to play like they're controlling you, like that's putting you in this dark space, you're coming out of that, right? So somebody was very controlling in someone's childhood. That's what this is. Like you may have had very controlling parents that like try to control every little thing that you do. And so they try to use like siblings or kids or whoever to control you. That's what this is here. But you're surrounded, they may have even used your whole family to try to control you. But no, it's time for you to break out. Like, you have your own life. Yeah, so you don't need to be confused. You have your own generational cycle chain and curse to break. This is where you going outside and get some sun so that you can recharge from the sunlight. So let me see. This healing opens up space for feeling focused, clear, and centered. When you are ungrounded, we are no different than an item floating in the breeze, going whichever way the wind blows. It is an unbalanced state of being disjointed, also hints at the need to make space for shadow work that you may be avoiding. When you reroute yourself, you can stand tall and firm in your energy, being less influenced by anything working to stray you off your path. So that's what this is. So yeah, find out who, and this is just to kind of round out your reading here, but find out what your seventh house, your zodiac sign in your seventh house is. And that is the energy that someone is using to to openly cause quarrels and disputes in your life, whether because they see that as your other half, so they're trying to project something onto you, right? whether it's in court or causing some kind of, argument or whatever. They're trying to use that energy. They're trying to cloak that energy, but that energy feels horrible to even do that. But they don't feel strong enough, so they need to get out in the sun themselves. But that is what I have for you. Hopefully this is helpful. Again, it's not just for Libra sun sign, but it is for whatever your seventh house is, whatever your zodiac signs for your seventh house. I'm strongly encouraging everybody to pull your birth chart. Pull your birth chart, find out what your zodiac sign is in your seventh house. That's a sign, the house of relationships. Traditionally denotes marriage and partnerships, but also the idea of open enemies, quarrels and disputes. It's the house of contractual partnerships. Okay. So yeah, so I just wanted to because this is a pretty lengthy reading, because I know this your video did not go up, but this is for anybody who, like I said, seventh house. So I think by now you all know, and just in terms of what the seventh house means, right? Um, but yeah, as I was closing the video out, when I mentioned was somebody, whether you have kids with them or don't have kids with them, it looks like it gives the appearance that, like I said, that every single energy is trying to work against you, right? And because these energies are really, really trying to, like I said before, um, they saw you as opposition. It's literally like, they have a set of belief systems till death do us part, literally. And if you try to part, they will put you in a sting. Like they will get you caught up in some kind of a sting. Who in the world wants to be in any kind of a relationship where somebody will set you up in some kind of a sting, some kind of an entrapment, some kind of anything, if you would leave because you don't want to be in survival mode? Who would want to be in anything like that? Who would want to be in anything like that? As a child, who would want to be anything like that as an adult? Who would want to be anything like that as a sibling? Who would want to be anything like that as a friend? Just as a human? Who would want to be in anything like that, period? Right. So, and then everything you say, your words being used against you. Everything, your words being used against you, literally. So there's a lot of energies that these energies have partnered with to use everything that you say against you, literally, in the spiritual and in the physical world, everything to use against you. This is what the Five of Swords is about. Literally, they record everything that you say, everything that you do to use it against you. Master manipulation, right? Everything. But guess who you are? You know you're a good parent. You know that you are a good parent. You know that you're a good person. So stay focused. Stay focused. And they know it too. They know it too. They just like to play games. They know it too. So yeah, anybody that sees you as opposition, these energies prayed for somebody like you, whoever you are, whoever you are. They prayed, every single one of these people prayed for a friend like you, a mother like you, a father like you, a sibling like you, a cousin like you. They pray for a human being like you, someone who does not judge people, somebody who would accept people for who they are, their outer shell, inner shell, all of that. They prayed for somebody like you. But the moment you decided to move on, that is when they decided to trap you in something. They couldn't wait to get to the other side of the table of a courtroom. And that is sad. That is really, really sad. So you need to be very firm in your decision. Whoever you are, you need to be very firm in your decision. Number 10, I'm ingenious. You have great leadership skills. Your mind is sharp and it allows you to dream up ingenious ideas and organize all the details, then direct others how to carry things out. I'm telling y'all, I don't know if you missed it in the first part of the reading, but all of these energies, like I said before, yeah, these energies have so much money they can create whatever they want to create. And with modern technology, they can create whatever lie they want to create to entrap energies. So, whatever. You trust God. So, fertility. Yeah, like I said, they can plant whatever seed they want to plant. Fertility. You trust God. You got copycats all over the place. And that's what they've been doing. They've been planting seeds. Oh, they were here, they were there. They were here, they were there. Because they have the money to do it. But God. That is what I have for you. So that's who they laughing at. They like, oh, this person, they trust God, but we got money. Okay. In money they trust, but in God you trust. All right. That is what I have for you. Bye.